Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel. And today we got some pretty interesting news that came out. ScoopUpNet is going to be banned in Japan. Now, this is in Japan's expanded format. Japan does have expanded. Now, the interesting thing about this news is obviously Pokemon TCG Live has expanded, but we don't have the entire expanded format, which is black and white and on. We have Sun and Moon on live. Now, that's because they haven't coded all the cards yet, or whatever the case may be, from the older sets past Sun and Moon, but we should have X and Y, and we should have the black and white block on TC Live, but we don't. But yeah, in Japan, they still play expanded. We did have some expanded tournaments last year. We looked at a bunch of those lists using like double Dragon Energy and some crazy combos. And expanded is a format that I think has a lot of potential. It's a very fun format. As somebody who actually posts expanded videos and does expanded content and actually enjoys the format, it's an interesting kind of video to look at and kind of look at what's going on within expanded right now and why they banned ScoopNet, and maybe this could signal some interesting things. Now, this is obviously in Japan. This is not over in America just yet, because we haven't had an expanded tournament in a while, but it is interesting to note. So yeah, ScoopUpNet was banned from expanded. It'll be banned from expanded tournaments in Japan starting Friday, October 27th. So literally this Friday, Net will be banned. Now, the reason why Net was banned is because it allows you to net EX Pokemon. This is the reason why Shaymin EX was banned from the expanded format a while back, because you were able to use Shaymin every single turn. It was literally Crobat V, but you could use it every turn. And on top of that, you also had ScoopUpNet to net the Shaymin, which made for a very broken combo. Now, Net obviously was not banned. Instead, they banned Shaymin, but now they have to ban ScoopUpNet, and that's because of the EX Pokemon we now have in the format. Of course, with all the EX Pokemon we're getting, like Miraidon, Tinglu, Charizard EX, like every new EX can now work with ScoopUpNet. ScoopUpNet only prevents Vs and GXs from being netted. Now, they could have errata ScoopNet instead of banning it, but I think it is just correct to just ban it. It is a very powerful card, and Net is easily one of the strongest cards, arguably of all time. It is a very good card. It is super powerful, and it getting banned is kind of crazy. Now, again, we don't have the expanded format on TC Live in its full force. We haven't had tourneys in a while, but this could signal the return of tournaments, because this is like the first banned card in like 2 years or something like that. Like Shaymin got banned, I think back in 2021, 2020. So it's been over like 2 years now since we've seen a card banned and expanded, and Net has hit the table. And again, this is in Japan, not in America, but this does signal the return potentially of expanded on TCG Live at the very least. So like when we do get expanded on Live, maybe Net will get banned. Now, I do have Live opened up here with some, in my opinion, problematic cards that could get banned. Actually, one of the first videos I did here on the second channel last year was I actually did a tier list or something about cards that I think should get banned and expanded. So I've already kind of touched upon this before. And again, as somebody who plays expanded, it's a lot of fun, but there are some insanely broken combos in the expanded format. Expanded has a huge card pool, and when we have cards like ScoopUpNet that now are going to work with the new EX Pokemon, it will create some pretty toxic combos and some pretty problematic situations. But that's not the only problematic cards in the expanded format. Now, again, expanded right now is Sun and Moon on, so we currently don't have older cards. Now, if you're probably wondering how I got, older cards on TCG Live here in the deck list, it's because I imported from my old expanded videos. If you import a deck list from YouTube or whatever, and you paste it into TCG Live's expanded format, it does actually pop up the full list with the cards, except they just obviously aren't available because they're not coded in the game yet. But I do have some stuff I wanted to look at here and kind of touch upon cards in expanded that are a problem for the game. So Net, I think, was a healthy ban. I mean, the card right now, before we got EXs, it was bad, but it wasn't like the most insane card ever. But now that EXs are going to come to expanded, obviously Pokemon doesn't want to have a scenario where you can like ScoopUpNet a 330 HP Charizard EX. It just creates some pretty annoying and problematic combos. So banning Net does make sense. But what other card could get banned? If they're going to ban Net, what if they were to ban any other card? Does that mean we're going to see other cards get banned? Because eventually when we fully get expanded on Pokemon TCG Live, that does mean that we are going to probably see an updated ban list because, well, if Japan's banning Net, we're probably going to see Net banned and expanded too. So that means what else is left for, bans and expanded? Well, there obviously are some cards. Battle Compressor is something that I know a lot of people have talked about for a very long time to get banned. It's a very strong card. Being able to put 3 cards in your discard pile is pretty insane, and on an item card. So Battle Compressor is a card that could get banned. There is obviously cards that are also problematic, in my opinion, like Double Dragon Energy. Now, Double Dragon Energy doesn't seem like the most bannable card ever because, like, how bad is this really? Well, it is a very strong card because it provides 2 Rainbow Energy for a Dragon Pokemon, and Pokemon have now brought dragons back. You got to think of Regidrago V-Star, Noivern EX, Goodra V-Star, Duraludon VMAX, and even older Dragon Pokemon. I've always been an advocate of Double Dragon getting banned. I would like to see Double Dragon get banned. If Pokemon are going to keep giving us dragons, especially Dragon EXs now, like Noivern and the new Altaria. Altaria is obviously not like a problematic card, but you get my point. Like, what's to say we're going to get more dragons in the future that make Double Dragon Energy broken? I've always been an advocate of Double Dragon getting banned. It's a card I would like to see get banned. Giratina Garchomp is obviously a very big instigator of Double Dragon. So this is a list that I did a video on a while back. It was an expanded Lugia Donk deck. So basically how this deck works is you obviously put Archeops in the discard pile for Lugia, which, you know, is a combo obviously that's good right now. You can actually use Battle Compressor to just chuck Archeops away. You draw a Compressor, you discard 3 Archeops with Battle Compressor, then you Lugia V-Star them into play. Well, you can do that with Wally. You can actually Wally Lugia V-Star into play turn 1. If you go double Archeops, discard pile, play Wally, you can put Lugia V-Star in play on your first turn going second. Usually you can't do that because Wally breaks the rules. You can. So you can Wally into play, and then you go Summoning Star. And then what you do is you Primal Turbo 3 Double Dragon Energy to a Giratina Garchomp, and then use GG End, which if you have 6 energy on it effectively, which can be activated with Double Dragon Energy, you can discard 2 of your opponent's Pokemon from play. So basically, if your opponent does not bench 2 Pokemon, or 3 Pokemon, you just win the game. So this is why Expanded has some broken combos. In theory, Expanded is a healthy format. In practice, right? The card pool is ginormous. There are so many really cool combos and decks you can play. The problem is there's some really bad combos that make the game unfun, and this is one of them. Double Dragon Energy Giratina Garchomp. Now, this isn't the only problematic expanded deck I've tried. There is also the Dialga V-Star Electro deck. This is another really toxic deck I did a video on. Actually, one of my most viewed videos is on this deck for good reason, because it's a very broken deck. Now, Double Dragon Energy is not in this deck. The card that should get banned is Electrode. Now, Electrode is a Pokemon that I could see getting banned in the future. Its ability allows you to knock itself out, and then you can put up to 5 energy from your discard pile onto your Pokemon any way you like. Now, this ability is not supposed to work on EXs or GXs. However, this does work on Vs and the new EX mechanic, because, as you can see, it is capital EX on Electrode, not lowercase EX. So Electrode is a card that, because it's specifically only a certain rule box Pokemon and not every rule box Pokemon, this is a card that I think could get banned. It's like ScoopNet effectively, right? Being able to make Electrode work with any Pokemon EX or V is pretty deadly. And of course, we were able to abuse that with this Dialga V-Star OTK deck. I don't really want to talk about the list because it's like a very complicated combo, but effectively you're trying to go Star Chronos into GGN to win the game. That's basically what this deck is trying to do, and you can do that when you can just Electrode a ton of energy into play and abuse Cyrus Prism Star. Now, combos like this are very broken, and they are problematic through cards like Battle Compressor. Obviously, Battle Compressor allows you to make a lot of these big combos work, like Electrode and Turn 1 Lugia V-Star. Battle Compressor is a card that I could see getting banned. I don't think it's like the worst card for the game. I think cards around it should get banned, but Compressor is a card that I could see also getting banned. Obviously, Net is another instigator card that can cause these broken combos, and that's mainly because of cards like Unknown. This deck is able to draw through a ton of cards thanks to Unknown's ability, where you can put on your bench and then you can discard it to draw a card. You can get Unknown back with Dragonite EX, which puts 2 basic Pokemon from a discard pile on your hand, and then you can net the Dragonite EX, right? You can play cards like Rescue Carrier to get Unknown back. You can just draw like a jillion cards in one turn, despite not having Shaman. So I could see even Unknown getting banned. It's another card that there's so many ways you can abuse its ability. This card definitely could get banned because you can theoretically do like 10 plus Unknowns in one turn, which is an insane concept to think of, but it is something that is problematic, especially when you combine it with like Skyfield or something where you can like have a huge bench with Dedenne, Crobat, and cards like Squawkabilly, which is a problem. Honestly, I don't think VIP will get banned because I don't think this card is that bad, but it definitely, I'm not a fan of this card, right? But yeah, there you go. But yeah, so those are some cards that I think could get banned. Electro GX, Unknown, Battle Compressor, Double Dragon Energy. Those are all cards that I think could end up getting banned. But yeah, what do you think of the ban update here? Do you think ScoopNet is a justifiable ban? Do you think banning ScoopNet is a good idea? Let me know, because obviously you can abuse it with EX Pokemon, and that is not a good thing for the expanded format. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and if you are a fan of expanded, what other cards do you think should get banned? I'm sure there's more cards we could have listed that could get banned, but those are like the main ones I wanted to touch upon because I think they're all problematic. But this could signal the return of expanded on TCG Live. Maybe they're getting close to releasing it, so they want to do this update in Japan, because I'm sure we're going to obviously line up our expanded format with Japan's in the future. Now, I don't know if expanded tournaments will return. They could. I know a lot of people don't like expanded. There are people that do. There are people that don't. It's controversial. So I don't know if they'll bring expanded tournaments back. Like expanded regionals would be kind of crazy. And if they do, they definitely got to give a huge ban update. Are you a fan of Black and White on expanded? Or maybe do you just want it to stay Sun and Moon on expanded? Sun and Moon on expanded isn't as bad. There are obviously some broken combos, but not as bad as Black and White on. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you on another video here on the second channel. Bye-bye.